We're here on Old River Road in Edgewater, and there's still a heavy law enforcement presence. Take a look. We just had a tree. Look at this. This just happened right here. This tree on Yardley Road fell down. Friends and family members are here in Jersey City paying their respects to Jaden Fondor. No injuries were reported, but this is the second fire at this site this month. So the Department of Transportation says you should be prepared for a longer commute on Tuesday morning. So make sure that your car is stocked with both snacks and water, a full tank of gas, and a charged cell phone. So if you want to think outside the box with your wagers on Sunday, there are literally thousands of prop bets available, including what color Gatorade will be dumped on the game-winning coach. But there is one over-under that's actually not on the board, 1.3 billion. That's the number of chicken wings the National Chicken Council expects to be consumed on Sunday. So what happens when temperatures get this cold is the ice expands inside the pipes, and that causes the pipes to break and have water flow out of them. So if that happens to you this week, here's what you're supposed to do. Shut off the water valve, turn off the emergency burner, and then call your service professional. This is how deep the water is here on Commerce Way. Now, despite a barricade being put up by the Department of Public Works, we've seen cars coming through here all afternoon. That's a bad idea. But one of the biggest attractions to the fair this year, the original Batcopter. So the warming trend affects the entire state, but the most direct impact may be the rising oceans in the climate zone. The decades since the technology has evolved, and now all of these carts at RPM Raceway can go up to 45 miles per hour. And if you're wondering when the plan is expected to be completed, Mayor Bala says the goal is to have this park completely renovated by the time spring rolls around. Or in this case, fresh ears. The first two episodes of the Hurricane Tapes are available right now, so you can listen to the podcast yourself. As for why so many people are still interested in Carter's story years later, Rosen believes there's a list of reasons why Ruben's story has stayed relevant. Witnesses say that the driver of the Chevy was trying to pull into this handicapped parking spot right in front of the bank. They say that the driver then accelerated into this pillar. You can see the damage to the brick. You can also see part of the car still here and these makeshift poles put up by the fire department to keep this structure in place. The president here at MetLife Stadium said today that they're looking forward to finalizing those plans with FIFA over the coming years. So the plan is to add nearly 1,200 feet of walkway along this waterfront property that's right next to the Newark Bay. But Bruce told me that her family came to thank him the night of the rescue. He said he also checked in with that family this week and was told the girl is doing okay. But this started on the second floor of that apartment building, and we're told that there's nobody that lives on that floor, but there is a family that lives on the first floor. That family will have to stay somewhere else on Tuesday night. Before the Twins were playing on the world's biggest stage, they starred right here, and the people at St. Joe's say it's the way they conducted themselves off the field that prepared them for success. It's as if they were already practicing the Patriot way while they were still in high school. A day later, and there is still smoke coming from out of this apartment complex. 100 people lived here, but they won't be able to return. The big concern in neighborhoods like this one in Morris County are these trees that run right next to these power lines. What happens is the snow and the ice can get in those branches and can start to weigh them down. And as you can see from behind me, these trees have been known to fall. So Governor Murphy says that you should be prepared to lose power this weekend. Now, if you don't want to make a big purchase like a generator, there are some other little things that you should make sure that you have. Make sure you have a flashlight, make sure you have batteries, make sure you have something to keep your phone charged. Also for your car, it's really important that you have bottled water on hand in case you get stuck. Booker's entire political career has been here in New Jersey, right near the bright lights of New York City. But now that he's officially running for president, the national spotlight will be on him as well. The people that we spoke to think he's ready for that added attention. There are still hot spots and smoke is still rising off of the Markel paper plant in Elmwood Park. If you're driving along Route 80, you can probably still see the smoke. It's been about 24 hours since the fire started, and this is what's left of the Landmark factory. We're told there were about 200 people inside working at the plant when the fire started, but amazingly, nobody was hurt. Now officials are trying to find out how to help the people who lost their jobs after a sign that stood for decades fell on Wednesday night. Elmwood Park officials are calling it a major tragedy.
The Markel sign and the Markel paper plant were iconic to Elmwood Park.
The Markel paper plant burned to the ground Wednesday night. 90% of the factory was destroyed, but nobody was hurt. And firefighters were able to keep the huge flames from spreading to any nearby neighborhoods.
There were still hot spots. We just came from viewing what's still going on over there. Just extraordinary heroism and courage, as usual, by the men and women who go out there and try to protect us and try to deal with calamities like this. So
it'll be a fire that'll be remembered for a long time.
County Executive Jim Tedesco called it one of the hardest fires he's ever fought.
Because of the fire load, because of the type of construction, because of the weather, There was a lot of things that were making this a challenging fight.
500 people worked at the site, working class jobs at a paper facility. Governor Murphy says the state will work with those employees.
Our hearts, thoughts, prayers, but soon, I hope, actions are with them in support of them.
And even though the Markel plant sign fell, Elmwood Park officials are staying resilient.
We will do everything in our power to make sure that Elmwood Park recovers, that those affected get assistance, and to see to it that one day the iconic Markel sign rises again.
And we mentioned the sub-zero conditions, but it's one thing to talk about them, it's an entirely different thing to actually see them. Look at the way the water has frozen on these power lines here. Firefighters said the water was even freezing inside their hoses as they tried to fight this fire. Now, of course, this is still an active investigation, and officials will try to determine what caused this fire. Since it is a paper plant, there's of course plenty inside that's flammable, and there have been fires here before. Reporting tonight from Elmwood Park, Tom Murphy, FiOS 1 News. Friends and family members are here in Jersey City paying their respects to Jayden Fondor. They're paying tribute in the same place the teenager was shot and killed on Tuesday night. And as you can imagine, it's an emotional scene. Some of the friends and family members writing messages on t-shirts. Some are lighting candles. There are also balloons spelling out Jayden's name. Others just want to be here to remember a friend who was always smiling and always in good spirits.
Yeah, he was always happy. Every time he came out here, he was always smiling. That's why everybody knows him about his smile.
This is 17-year-old Jayden Fondor.
He's always the innocent.
The teen was gunned down Tuesday night in Jersey City.
That's my brother. That was my brother.
Levon Rose
I'm hurt. I'm hurt. All day I didn't get no sleep.
is still struggling with the loss of his friend.
He was a good kid. To this day, I'm always going to love him. I'm always going to hold his name up.
Jayden was a student at nearby Ferris High School.
My condolences to the family, and it's just a sad moment for right now.
He was found dead here in front of the Elmana Mini Market. Police say he was shot in the neck in a drive-by shooting.
He was never a bad kid, and they took something special from us. They took an angel from us.
His friends
I'm always going to say Jayden's name. I'm always going to have him up in my mind. I'm always going to think about him.
say they won't forget him
I used to see him around all the time with a beautiful smile.
or his smile.
Always smiling. Every picture he had, smiling. Every time he's next to you, smiling. I love you, Jayden. That's it. I love him to death.
Again, you're looking at the vigil and tribute to 17-year-old Jayden Fondor, who was shot and killed on Tuesday night here in Jersey City. As for the investigation, no arrests have been made, and prosecutors have not released any information about the suspect or the suspect's car. So if you have any information about what might have happened here on Tuesday night, you're asked to contact either the police or the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office. Reporting tonight from Jersey City, Tom Murphy, FiOS 1 News. Good evening, Courtney. We're here on Old River Road in Edgewater, and there's still a heavy law enforcement presence. So we want to show you exactly what we're looking at this moment. And just within the last 10 minutes, there were still flames coming out of that building that holds a car wash, a restaurant, auto repair shop, and a dance studio for children. We're about to show you some dramatic video of the rescue as it unfolded, and we do want to warn you, the video is disturbing, but we also want to be very clear that nobody was seriously hurt. Again, nobody was seriously hurt. Thanks to the quick action of everyone involved, this is actually a story of heroism.
This gentleman right here, Tony Nemi and Officer Dalton, were the first guys on the scene. And I'll tell you what, it was one of the bravest things I've ever seen.
Started breaking the window with my ass. We were able to get through the window. Another ladder appeared. Someone passed it up to us on the roof. We were able to break the rest of that window with that ladder. And the girls started walking out. The one girl jumped in my arms.
Again, we want to stress no one was seriously hurt here. Officer Dalton, who you just heard from, called it the most terrifying moment of his career. We're told there were 5 minor injuries as those people were rescued. We're also told no firefighters were hurt. There are dozens of homes that have had some really, really bad flood damage to their houses. Power is out, power is off the grid here as well. We were able to catch up with one of the families that is out of their home tonight to see how they're handling these high waters.
Just moved in here about 2 months ago. This is our first home.
Shannon Ferry and her husband are supposed to be celebrating 2 months in their first home.
Been through some things. My husband has cancer, and we, fought it for 4 years now and saved up money enough to move here.
Instead,
Literally, that's everything that him and I have worked for.
they're wading out of waist-deep water,
Be careful, baby.
trying to salvage whatever they can.
Devastated. Everything in the house is destroyed. It's got well over almost 2 feet of water. The furniture, carpeting, the floors are buckled. And I hope that we can rebuild.
Ferry's home was one of several that flooded here in Brick Township on Monday. A state of emergency was declared. We watched as a police Hummer drove through 3 feet of water to check and make sure everyone was okay.
There's a lot of elderly people in this area, and just thank God nobody was, died from something of this.
These pictures taken by the Brick Township Police Department show just how much water came through here on Monday.
It's just a freak thing.
Scary. It didn't seem like it was ever going to stop.
I could hear it pounded on the roof of my house. It sounded like a roar. That's how heavy the rain was coming down. And
Everyone we spoke to said they were stunned by the storm.
The amount all at once, it seemed like the 8 inches just flooded in. It came down too fast.
And the neighborhood is not in a flood zone.
They told me we didn't need flood insurance because this wasn't a flood zone.
Who's going to cover it? No FEMA, nobody? Somebody's got to cover this. I mean, what do these people do?
Ferry says she's not sure.
I don't know how that works, so I'm a little afraid at the moment that, everything we own is underwater.
So I asked Shannon Ferry earlier today where she's planning on sleeping tonight, and she says she doesn't have any family in the area, so she'll have to go to the shelter that was set up by the Red Cross here in this Greenbrier neighborhood. We're reporting tonight from Brick Township. Tom Murphy, FiOS 1 News.